Hi, I'm Rebecca, and this is Gloria with Inland Empire Couples Counseling, and this is the second video we're doing in a series about common problems that couples face around the holidays. And today we are talking about splitting time. Ooh, let me put that up there. There we go. So what do we do when we both have families that we came from, or we have, friend groups that we already have traditions with, and there's just it's not possible for us to get to do all of the things that we want to do or would normally do or is the family tradition because now we have a partner.
Those are all good questions. What the heck do we do?
Answer them. Answer them all.
It's very common, right? Especially partnership, or even if we want to change up like the year or the day or what have you because of what happened years before, or maybe we're even feeling like I've kind of spent a lot of time with your family, or I even get to see your family more often than mine. So there's definitely different circumstances how this could get brought up. But making conversation about it is absolutely important. And the way that we talk about it is absolutely important. So we don't want to put like the blame game, the accusatory game. We don't want to do none of that, just because we definitely want to make this more of an open, communicative conversation where people can find somewhere where they mesh really well, at least a place of understanding. So the intention going in is going to be, I just want to understand. I just want to see your point of view and hear the different things that you are probably going to bring to me. And just kind of keeping in mind, it's not a debate either. Sometimes it's just like a knee-jerk reaction that we might have if people start saying, well, my family, I want to do this because we had your family, and then kind of going into that. And then the knee-jerk reaction is, well, XYZ, XYZ. So we definitely want to just avoid the debate of like, when did we do what this year, and whatever or whomever with whom. So again, place of understanding.
I love
Really
that
trying to listen to
reminder.
each other.
Yeah, to start there. And I would add that this should be a conversation that happens early. So we need to sit down and have a conversation where we're just trying to understand each other long before, grandma needs an answer tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Or I already committed us to something, right? Like you're putting so much more pressure on the conversation if you do it that way than to leave yourselves lots of time to be intentional about how do we want to do these things, what's going to work best for us, and help me. I want to understand your position and I want you to understand mine so that we can work together to find some kind of happy middle ground.
I love that you brought that up. Yes, we definitely don't want to come up with like the last minute stuff, and then we got to go with it just because someone's pressuring us. So very good point. And once we kind of sift through that, we gave ourselves enough time. We don't feel pressured, right, to give people answers the next day or anything. Finally hitting a happy middle ground. So this could look like a variety of alternatives, different options, different journeys, what have you. It's really just recognizing too, our way is not the most right. So if we
You mean the way my family does a holiday is not the one and only right way to do it? Is that what you're saying?
you know what, it's really hard sometimes for us to kind of like be flexible in those areas just because it has been so fun, or we're just very used to it. It's just keeping in mind our way is not the most right. So when we have that flexibility there, if we're willing to explore even new avenues, even if we don't totally know the entire game plan, as long as we go in with like an open mind of the possibilities, awesome, we can find a happy middle ground. And the middle ground could look like either splitting the years between each other,
Mm-hmm.
or even splitting the actual day, like the holiday day.
So let's spend a little bit more time on that. Tell me about splitting the year. What do you mean?
So we split the year. We do 1 year with one family and the next year with somebody else's family. So we definitely want to keep track of this as well. Sometimes life just happens. Life is going on. We forget exactly with whom and where we spent last holiday with whomever. So keeping track, technology, I cannot cannot say it enough. Create like a Google Calendar or whatever it is, and just put it in there really quickly. So when next year comes around, because oh my gosh, I don't know for you, but the years go by really quickly for me now. I could just quickly scroll back and be like, oh, okay, that's where we were. that's what happened. So let's try to find maybe somebody else's house that we could do it at, or do like a friend's thing, or whatever the situation might be. So we could just split the years together. Or even people kind of go off and on between holidays. So it's like we spent Thanksgiving at your grandmother's house or what have you. So let's spend Christmas or whatever the holiday is that's coming up at my stepfather's house or something.
Right. Right. And we do New Year's with mom or something like that.
Yeah, just kind of
Yeah.
splitting it all up.
Yeah. I think that this keeping track thing is can be useful, but also we don't want it to be something where it starts becoming like a tit for tat and the keeping track becomes an argument between the couple. But like sitting down and deciding together, this is how we want to do things and how we think it's going to work best is going to be important, because what happens every year, there will be some kind of special circumstance. Well, I know that it's supposed to be your family's year, but Uncle so and so is in town and we haven't seen him for forever, so we have to switch it up. And we don't want to have that happen a bunch of years in a row, and then all of a sudden the person's like, hey, we had this agreement and somehow something special always happens and we never get to go see my family, or we always end up backing out of the agreement or whatever. So I think part of doing this is going into it with good faith and being willing to keep your side of the agreement, and also being realistic about who the two of you are and who your family members are and what's important to you, so that you're not signing yourself up for something that is going to, that you're like destined to fail at. You know, don't agree to something if you're like, I know this is never going to work. So let's talk about a different strategy that you mentioned. One would be to split the years, or do alternating years or alternating holidays, and then the next one that you mentioned would be just splitting the day. So what do you mean there?
Yeah, splitting the day. Oh my gosh. This is going to take a cool amount of planning, and definitely a lot of figuring things out ahead of time, and a mutual agreement between you and your partner. So I want to
And often the
really
other
make,
families too.
yeah, it's like I want to really make that the focus. It's between you and your partner having this agreement, and letting family, whoever's going to be involved, let them know the approximation of how long you'll be spending time with them, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or what have you. And just let them know, like, we love you, we care about you, it's not you. We just want to be fair to each other and make sure that we split it amongst our family, so none of us feel left out. And even we can switch the times or something like in the future, just to see like what happens. But yeah, splitting the day, just like I mentioned earlier, it's going to take a conversation way ahead of time. And it's going to entail a little bit of family preparation as well, and being prepared both together unanimously, to be prepared with that pushback. Or even I kind of look at it as like the friendly pushback, where it's like the family comes in with a come on, but we're going to have, I don't know, dreidel, we're going to have cake at this time, and really kind of like pushing like your time limit, when you clearly said, me and my partner are only going to be here for breakfast. We can't join you for dinner. I know it's going to be great, but we can only do this much time because we want to be fair to each other. And when you both are unanimous in that, you are on the same page, then those that friendly pushback that you might receive from family can feel a little bit easier, because then you have your partner cheering you on in the background of the phone call or something, like, you got this, stay strong, like, we got it together.
Yeah. And I think that how we talk about these things with our partners, and then how we communicate that our plans to our families, matters a whole lot too. Because it's very different to say, um, I know it's tradition, but we're not going to be there for you all this year. We have to leave. We're not going to be there for the traditional thing. Your family's going to have some feelings about that. Um, and they may receive you better if you say, we love my partner's family so much, and I want for them to be able to spend time with their family too, and they also have these really special traditions, and let me tell you about what we do with them, and it's so fun, and we love you, and we're sad to miss this, but we're so lucky that we have these two families that both do awesome things, and we get to do that. Is your family still going to be sad? Yeah, but you're delivering them a message of like, where our life is full of people who love us and wonderful things, and not like, we're not spending time with you.
Yeah.
Your family may receive that a little bit better, and you might get less of that pushback.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I would also like side note in is like expect the day, no matter how much planning, it's not gonna be perfect for sure.
of course.
Um, and Josefina might hold us up like when you were just like, okay, we're going to be from 9 a.m. and then from like 12 p.m. That's it. And then we're going to go. And then she just decides to kind of like hold you up and talk to
Right.
you because she hasn't seen you in a long time. So it's just making sure that we're flexible. We add a little bit of that wiggle room as well, even for
Hmm.
us to decompress. Because honestly, I don't know how everybody else can just go, 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 go through everything. But for me, like I do need a little bit of decompression time myself. It's like, okay, we got wonderful family. We're going in the car ride again, or we gotta like pack up all the kids again and put everybody in. I would say add some wiggle room. Add some wiggle room just for decompression time for yourself to just sit in the car by yourself and just like listen to
Hmm.
music or digest the holiday food that might be happening.
Before you go straight into the next meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before the long drive wherever you're gonna go, or
Right.
before you go into your next meal, even like right before you hit whoever's house or whatever the location is, that the next event is gonna happen at, is pull over on like a safe area or like a park or what have you to just get out, stretch a little bit, kind of like check in with body, move it around. There's so much power in movement, so
Hmm.
we can show up if it's like our partner's family, obviously even for our family too, we can be the best us that we can be without being short or irritated or just exhausted from all the stuff that happened like maybe in the morning or something.
Right. Right. Thank you so much for these suggestions. We want to remind everybody to approach these conversations with love and grace and flexibility because you're talking about the person that you care about the most in the world and the people who both of you love. And those are conversations that are worth taking with extra care. If you'd like to watch the full series when we have it up, you can head over to our website at iecouplescounseling.com, where you can find a bunch of blog posts and information, helps for relationships, and even get to set up a consultation if you'd like to work with one of our therapists. Thanks.